After my performance against Yildirim, it's hard to see anyone as the tournament's favourite apart from me. I can beat everyone in the super middleweight division. Any place, anywhere, anytime. Nothing is certain, anything can happen in boxing, but I want George Groves to win. We have a history, and this is the fight the public has demanded for many years, so hopefully he gets through the fight, and then we can get in the ring in January. I am not a betting man, but if I had to put money on one, I'd say George because of his experience. Cox is unknown, he is green. I'll give George the edge of the fight. If George is my opponent in the semi-final, then we can stop talking about favourites and let the hands do the talking. And my hands will be talking loudly at him. Those are the words of Chris Eubank Jr. talking about this potential showdown with George Groves in the semi-finals of the super middleweight version of the World Boxing Super Series. This fight is guaranteed to happen as long as George Groves gets past Jamie Cox. Eubank, they're also saying he'll fight anybody in a super middleweight division and that he'll beat them all. There was a picture posted on social media in the past couple of days of Carl Froch with Chris Eubank Sr. They bumped into each other in the West End of London. And Carl Froch has always been somebody that rates Eubank Jr. very highly. And the caption to the picture that he posted was, I'm trying to go by memory here, so it's probably not accurate completely, but the basic gist of it was, I'm not sure who can beat Eubank Jr. in the super middleweight division. That was Carl Froch's message that he was conveying on this picture. So he rates Eubank Jr. highly. He believes Eubank Jr. may actually be the best super middleweight in the world right now. And again, this is a guy who shared the ring with Eubank Jr. in sparring. So I wouldn't personally dismiss what Carl Froch. I know people love having a go at Froch because he says a lot of controversy. And I've had a go at Froch in the past for some of the things that he says. But at the end of the day, he is a professional fighter. I don't see why he would have anything against, the entirety of the super middleweight division and leave out Eubank. I mean, I know he's had his issues with the Galen Groves, but then there's Callum Smith, there's Gilberto Ramirez, there's a bunch of other fighters. There's, who's the big, tall Latino fighter? I forget his name now. Benavidez. So there's all these other guys. Does Carl Froch have an issue with those guys to be dismissing their chances? To be acting as though Eubank's going to beat all those guys? Is Carl Froch being biased or is he being honest? I mean, maybe he's being biased. I don't know. But I personally wouldn't take Froch's opinion on Eubank so lightly. I think that he's genuine when he says that he thinks Eubank might be the best guy out there. That's my personal view. So drop your personal views in the comment section below about what Eubank Jr. has said here. Is he the best in the division potentially? Is he really willing to fight anybody? I mean, there are so many people saying that Eubank Jr. was going to pull out of this Super Series, including James DeGale, including many people. When I did my first video announcing that Eubank was entering this tournament, in fact, before I did my first video announcing Eubank was entering the tournament, there was a bunch of people saying that Eubank would never enter the tournament. And after he entered the tournament, and in fact, I was skeptical about whether he'd enter the tournament. But when he entered the tournament, then you had a bunch of people saying, he's going to pull out of the tournament. Really? I don't see Eubank pulling out of the tournament. Certainly not before he gets a Groves fight. I don't see that happening at all. In fact, I'd be surprised if he pulled out of the tournament, whatsoever. But certainly, that Groves fight is a massive money fight. It's a fight against an opponent who he knows very, very well. He's sparred countless rounds with him. So there's no fear factor there as far as I'm concerned. Why would he pull out against Groves? Why wouldn't he take that fight? He's not going into the unknown. He's going in there on very familiar territory against Groves. So anyway, let me stop rambling on here, people, and leave it to you guys to spark some discussion in the comment section. All right, be interested to read your comments. It's Hatman, I'm out.